So now that I've got the marshmallows finished, the next step is going to be making the graham crackers. Now, graham flour is just a very coarse whole wheat flour. In this case, I'm using a local whole wheat here in Thailand that is pretty coarsely ground. I'm going to try to do something a little different though. I'm going to actually mix in some ground almonds. See if I can make something a little bit lighter and a little more interesting. I'm also going to use more cardamom as a flavoring rather than cinnamon to try to maybe match the coconut milk flavors that we have in the marshmallows here. So we'll see how this turns out. So we have almonds that have been ground up about 4 ounces, and then top it off to 10 ounces with some coarse whole wheat flour, or frankly regular whole wheat flour would be just fine. If for some reason you're not interested in it being quite as healthy, you can always use all-purpose flour. Texture will be a little bit lighter though. You have 3 ounces of dark brown sugar. And then we're also going to add some baking soda, some salt, some baking powder, a little bit of ground cinnamon, and then also some ground cardamom to give it more of a Southeast Asian flavor. So the process of making graham crackers is relatively easy. You take your dry ingredients, put them into the bowl of your food processor, or you could do this by hand. Pulse a few times, and then you want to add your butter. And the butter is chilled and cut into small cubes. And then we'll pulse that a few times, and we want to get it to the point where the mixture resembles cornmeal. And then we need to add a little bit of liquid. In this case, I'm using some milk and some sweetener. I'll do some honey in this case. You could use molasses, but if you use molasses, you're going to get a darker colored dough, so it just depends on what effect you want. And also a splash of vanilla extract. And I'm going to process that for just a couple of moments until it comes together in a ball. And shouldn't take very long at all. Okay, so we've got our dough mixture, and this is going to need to chill in the refrigerator for about a half an hour. And it's not 100% in a ball at the moment, but as soon as you put it down on the plastic, you can go ahead and form it into a disc. Make sure it all comes together nicely. Okay, in the refrigerator for a half an hour, let it chill. While the graham cracker dough is resting in the refrigerator for about a half an hour, I can go ahead and create the chocolate portion of my s'more. In this case, I'm going to use a chocolate ganache. Now, chocolate ganache is very simply chocolate that has almost boiling cream poured into it, and then it's blended together. And then after it cools a bit, I'll whip it up, so it'll be kind of a really thick, airy frosting, which should be really nice. I'm going to use a darker chocolate, about a 60% cocoa, because I like a slightly darker flavor to the chocolate. Some people prefer milk chocolate. Whatever works for you is fine. Of course, I might eat all the chocolate before I get started, huh? Okay, start measuring out our chocolate. I'm going to use about a half a pound of chocolate, 8 ounces, and put that in the bowl here. And we're just going to pulse it a few times. Break it up a little bit. So once our cream is just about to boiling, we need to go ahead and pour it in over the chocolate. Don't want to splash it too much. And then go ahead and put on the top. And then we do the hardest part. Wait for 2 minutes, let the heat do its magic. After the warm cream has melted the chocolate a bit, just pulse it a couple of times, and that should make a nice smooth ganache. And then we can open it up and take a look, and it should be nice and smooth. If not, just pulse it a few more times to get the lumps out. Make sure you wipe down the sides, and it should be ready to go. And then we need to pour it into a bowl, and then we're going to let it cool till it gets to be about room temperature before we whip it. Okay, it's been a bit more than a half an hour, and so we've got our graham cracker dough, which has been resting. Okay, we're going to take about half of this. And we're going to put it between a couple of pieces of parchment or wax paper and then roll it out to 1/8 inch thickness. And then you could cut them into squares. That would be quite traditional, but I'm actually going to use a round that's just slightly larger than the size of those marshmallows I've made. And start in the middle. And the key is to remove the dough around rather than the circles themselves. That way you don't misshape the circles. Prick the surface a little bit so they'll crisp up nicely. Okay, and let's get those into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown. So the graham crackers turned out pretty good. There's some variation in color due to my lack of attention to detail, making sure they're rolled out to the same thickness, cooking times varying a bit from batch to batch. That's just my issue. So the big question is going to be, how does it all taste when it comes together? We're going to have to wait until tomorrow. We've got to finish up these marshmallows, let them dry, and then still have to whip the ganache. So we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully a masterpiece. If not, it'll have been an interesting experiment.